Awesome. So we have Dani here. Dani, I know before working with this, you worked at Citi for a long time. You know, how long did you work at Citi?
So I was at Citi almost 6 years, but I was in banking for 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What made you determine, what's the initial thought? This always interests me when people say, I think I'm ready for like a change. What do you think was it for you? Was it, you know, everyone has their own kind of reasons for making a career change. What was
Yeah.
going on at Citi?
So Citi has a culture where you get a new role normally within the company every 3 years. And I had made a change around 3 years in, and I really didn't like what I saw. And so I knew I wanted to make a change. I just wasn't sure exactly what I wanted. And over time, I had given myself time to think about it. I really wanted a chance to make an impact that was different than what I was doing within my firm and possibly what I could do within the industry. So I was looking for that kind of shift, and I felt like I was competing against a large group of people and maybe not getting the opportunities and the recognition that I would have liked to have gotten. And there were opportunities to do more and get more, right?
Mm-hmm. At what point did you say, I might need help? Like, have you hired any type of coach before? Because I know you come from the banking world. Have you ever hired a coach, or at what point did you say, I need help? Because some people, they maybe wait a couple years and they're like, I really need help. And some people say, hey, I don't even kind of know how to get started. Like, how was it for you?
Yeah, so actually Citi, within like my first 3 years, they hired an executive coach to kind of get me to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a really great experience, but it wasn't actually necessarily actionable as far as growing my career. It was great to like gain a different perspective and to grow my skill set, but it wasn't going to get me to where I wanted to go. It was going to arm me with the tools I needed to be successful at the next level.
Yeah. So
So
really, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
it was something that, I had some experience as in bring somebody else in and like take advantage of using and leveraging an expert, right? But it wasn't necessarily what I really wanted, which was how do I get to where I want to go?
Mm-hmm. What did you find most valuable about working together? It's always different for people. It's always, some people say it's the automated system. Some people say it's the interview prep. Some people say, it's just the ability to network because I've been scared to do it. What do you think it was for you?
Yeah, I think there were two big things. One was the fact that there were so many resources across such a, broad range of activities that it's definitely easy to make this like your number one priority and your number one focus, because there's so much you can fill up your day with, right? So like if you are making it a numbers game and you're using automation and you're using your network and you're doing what you can to like come up with new creative ideas, you're going to expand those numbers exponentially. And right, just that statistically is going to work out in your favor, right? You're going to get more opportunities, even if you decide not to take them. Having that option is huge. So I think, it was just such a broad range of things that you could do that there was no chance that you weren't going to like have a bigger network. And then the other part was just the idea of thinking out of the box, of like only looking for roles that are advertised. Because I do feel like at a certain level, all the best roles, they're not going to have a job description posted, right?
Yeah.
And so like finding out like what is the best manner to get to those, to tap that. And it's not necessarily that there's one best manner, but when you're going along all those fronts and you're doing all the different activities, you're going to find them one way or another.
Well, it's funny too, because how you got plugged into a couple opportunities was through networking. And then who would have thought, so Dani lives in Miami, that you would find a WhatsApp group for owners of fintech that just kind of got you in there and led to other opportunities. Like, who would have thought you would have networked your way into a WhatsApp community, right? Where you'd be connected with those people. That's pretty wild.
Yeah. And, I got an offer from automation. I found a firm that I got an offer from an article that had just come out talking about that company. And I hunted them down on LinkedIn and used the same techniques that we were using on automation on a more targeted front. There was that WhatsApp group I got connected with. So like there were lots of different avenues that led to something. And it's just, came from doing the work, basically.
Absolutely. Yeah.
The effort.
At the end of the day, no matter what, this is always going to be a numbers game, right? It's always like, how many people can we get our profile in front of is going to determine how many people I talk to, how many people then I interview with, and then how many offers I get. And you actually had a couple offers, over the course of working together that we just said, you know what, this probably isn't the best for you, So what advice would you have for someone? Because sometimes we send individuals this video after we, talk to them about joining our program. What advice would you have for someone if they were sitting with us here and they were like considering working together and they know they probably need help?
Yeah, I think I would say have an open mind, because you can be really surprised with what you're able to achieve. And then what worked for me was I set aside 90 days in which I said that this was going to be my priority. So even though I had a job, I let that be on the back burner. And I said, I can afford to kind of slack off at work for 90 days and have a different priority. And that's really what I did. I made my full-time job looking for a job, and I had the safety net of being currently employed. And I worked my job in the margins of what I had from my networking time. So I really made that the number one priority. I know I put everything in it. And so I figured if worse came to worse and nothing worked out, at least I will have known that I did everything possible. But it is a numbers game. So I do believe like when you put in the time that something will come from it.
It's no different than kind of a manufacturing environment. Like that's the way I like to explain it. Like you got these lean Six Sigma guys, right? Who say, how can we optimize your profile, right? How can we optimize, your online brand? How can we optimize the communication we're using to lead people to a conversation, right? How do we get on the conversations without being salesy, being like that true consultant? And then how do we convert those interviews to offers? So really, when you make a lot of those small changes, it just helps, to get those offers earlier. But you're right. Hey, getting a job in Dani's case, where I think you ended up around, high six figures, around 400 or something along those lines, you are, just the interviews you're going to have to go on, you're going to have to prepare for those, right? You're going to have to work with us. We're going to have to prepare, and it's a lot of work. So, if you're going at that higher level, you're going to talk to some people, and that's a good thing too, because you need to make sure, like you were at Citi for 6 years, right? We just didn't want to, oh, I got the next offer. I think it's good. Let's go. Let me go spend 5 years there. Like that's not, where people want to be. So Dani, I wish you obviously the best of luck, and thanks so much.
Thank you so much for the support. I honestly don't think I could have done it without you guys. Yeah.